Well, see, I was approached and I was told that basically there's going to be this woman that the character that Justin plays in this film is obsessed with. And I was like, that sounds amazing. I think that it'd be really cool to just be the object of affection and really, yeah, so it's great.
Great, I think we got it. Thanks, guys. I was going through a breakup, as you do, and I had some feelings about heartbreak and marriage in particular, and foreverness and the definition of that, and how people's relationship to each other changes from being in love to not being in love to what do you mean to the person at this point in time and so on. And I went home, I heard a song, It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, which is a great tune. And I just had this idea for this character who the love of his life was getting married, and he kind of was in this, realizing that he had this one last shot to try and figure it all out. So I wrote the short, and then really surprised me how many people related to it and came up to me and told me their personal stories of their ex-girlfriend and their ex-boyfriend, and they went to a wedding or someone wanted to come to theirs, or some horror story of their own and their own experience. And I just thought it was something that if people were going to relate to it that much, that we should do the feature. I was a couple months out of a breakup that was I was trying to trying to process, and when I read the script and it really spoke to me, and I felt like I connected with it, and I felt like I needed to do it because of that. Ryan Eggold called me and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing next week?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "You want to be in this movie?" I said, "Do I have to read it?" He said, "No." I signed on. Literally right before Aaron, I'm Aaron. Title roll. Literally right before we started rolling, Ryan walked in the door. Kobe Spalding, why did you want to do this film? And is it as good of a reason as Ryan's? Don't say it was just because you wanted to work with me. Is it as good of a reason as Ryan's or no?
I mean, I'm literally crying right now because I'm laughing so hard. And that's really the main reason, is to really work with these guys and Kristen Shaw, and we had and John Cho, and we had such a great group and a fun script to do and interesting characters. And I also like the idea of playing like two different versions of this relationship, which was like the new young love when they were in college, and it was new and it was exciting, and then seeing these people back together and having been through so much and seeing how much that changed, and to try to figure out how to show that in the best way, and so that was interesting. We also wanted to teach the kids about, the millennials, about the proper meaning of the word literally. Because we felt it was something we all got together. We felt like it's just being misused constantly, and that's true. This might shed some light on it. It was really a semantic film. And I'd love to talk about Ryan's character too, in terms of sort of the stereotype that you could have fallen into and what you played, because it wasn't that, I don't think, to Ryan's credit. And we really wanted to sort of present, instead of a stereotypical kind of jerk character, or clearly he's not the one for that. He is a nice guy. He's a good-looking guy. He's very kind, and he's funny, and he's affable, and all these things. And there's a very good reason to marry him. And it's not, totally. You don't immediately go, well, obviously she should be with the protagonist and not this guy, and let it be a little more complicated.